JOANN's 2-day bankruptcy auction just ended, and we now know more about the future of the company. Welcome to Sewing Report Live. I'm Jen, and I've been monitoring this bankruptcy auction for the past 2 days. It's been kind of a wild ride, and it is now over. I'm shooting this around 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, February 22nd. The auction was supposed to start yesterday morning. You may have been following me here for all of the latest, and the winning bid is a partnership between a liquidation company and some of JOANN's term lenders or financial institutions that JOANN owes money to. So the entity is called GA JOANN Retail Partnership LLC. So it's basically, they created this LLC just for the purposes of the auction. And this is Great American Group. They are the same company that helped liquidate the Hancock fabric stores, and they also helped JOANN's purchase House of Fabrics back in the day. So this is a liquidation company. So what this really means, the auction was between this GA Retail Partnership Group or Great American Group and Gordon Brothers, another liquidation company. So I'm going to go kind of break down what I saw during this auction, but the 500 stores that were slated to close will still be closing, but this also means that because there were no going concern bidders or entities that were interested in keeping JOANN's running as a business, this does look like Great American Group does plan to close down the remaining around 300 JOANN's locations that were not already slated to close. So I know that's kind of huge news, kind of big. So that's why I wanted to do a breaking news update here. So this will be the only video. I might do some other videos about more with what's going to happen in the next few months. Okay, so this morning they started things off around 10 a.m. and Gordon Brothers placed another bid that was a little bit better than yesterday's. Then they broke. And then everybody was gone for MIA for 7 hours. So 7 hours. So that's kind of what we were dealing with. So they came back around like 5:30, and then the Great American Group came back with a slightly better offer than their original baseline bid. And then they broke again, and I was like, oh geez, it's going to be another 7 hours or something, who knows. So I was like prepared to be here all night. But then they came back around a little bit before 6:30, around 6:15, and Gordon Brothers announced that they were not going to be bidding any higher, and they congratulated Great American Group for winning the auction. So as long as the judge signs off on all this at the sale hearing on Wednesday, February 26th, it does look like this is going ahead. So the CEO of Great American Group was on the call, and he did share some information that might be kind of interesting. So his name was Scott Carpenter. I was not able to find a good photo, so I was trying to look for one. But he said he knows this is not the outcome anyone wanted. He said they tried their best to find. He's like, I know JOANN's tried their best to find a going concern offer for employers and customers, but it just didn't happen. He also said they've had a long-standing relationship with JOANN's. In the early 2000s, JOANN bought House of Fabrics, and they helped with it. He said that Great American bought stores that JOANN did not want. He also said they have a multi-million-dollar retention plan for the employees so that they can retain as many people as they can. He said 90% of that is going into the stores. He said that most stores will stay open until the end of May, and they will work with the employees to be flexible, like if they need to go to another job interview or need time off to do something else, as they are going to be dealing with the transition of no longer being employed by the company. He said they will be funding payroll and making sure benefits stay intact. He said every item in the store will be discounted. Don't know how much. And he said that fresh merchandise will be arriving as quickly as possible so that people going to these liquidation sales have stuff to buy. And he claims they had absolutely nothing to do with the bankruptcy. So the sale hearing is going to be on Wednesday. So yes, it is official. There has been a winner of this auction, and it is this Great American Group partnership with some of JOANN's term lenders. Also kind of ironic, if you look at like JOANN's website, it's like, hey, we got all these sales today. And I'm like, great. So yes, if you are looking for sales online, I noticed like the Brother Sketch is now like $3.99. The Ditto Pattern Projector is $199. So they are having some sales. I don't know if you consider these good sales. They're calling it great buys. So JOANN's is calling these great buys. So I want to talk a little bit more about the auction process. So the auction was run by Kirkland Ellis. This is the law firm that was handling JOANN's second bankruptcy. So here's their website, and some of the folks we did see at the court hearing and then at the auction. So Aparna here, she has been at the auction both days. I did see this guy, Jeff Mahalik, both at the court hearing and at yesterday's auction. He was not there today. Today is Saturday. There was a guy named Ryan running things today that I couldn't find him on the website or in this list here, but his name was Ryan. So that's who was representing. So Kirkland Ellis was representing JOANN's with like all of the negotiations. So they were acting on behalf of JOANN. So let's go into some of the other parties. So this is Cindy, and she was actually the attorney for Gordon Brothers, which was the liquidation company that was the other bidder. So they had two bidders. They were so they had the stalking horse bidder, which was Gordon Brothers, and Cindy was she was representing Gordon Brothers. And then Rick Edwards was on the call. I think he was on the auction call yesterday. He's like sort of the CEO for Gordon Brothers. So he kind of jumped on, and he was kind of talking about his plans for JOANN if they had won the auction, which they did not. But he was talking, again, this kind of is a moot point now, but he was talking about working with this company called Hilco Global. And this was sort of interesting because they were discussing JOANN's intellectual property. And I've mentioned this before. They've got some valuable stuff. They have social media accounts with lots of followers. They've got the e-commerce website, joann.com. And they also have a lot of customer data. They've got addresses, phone numbers, email addresses. So that is very valuable from a marketing standpoint to the right buyer. So I'm sure Great American will also be doing this, but the intellectual property that JOANN's has accumulated over the years does have quite a bit of value. And perhaps there is someone that would want to buy, the website, the social media accounts. Some social media platforms don't technically allow you to sell your account, but I know it happens all the time. So I found that kind of interesting. And the other thing I was thinking, too, is that, oh, by the way, there are a bunch of scam websites popping up pretending to be JOANN's. Please know that there's only one legitimate JOANN website. It's joann.com. So I know there's some other scammy looking ones popping up, and people have fallen prey to them. So please be mindful of that. Be careful. All right. So here is, and also this is a 2016 press release about Great American Group, the winner of the auction. They actually handled the Hancock fabrics liquidation, like all the going out of business sales and whatnot. So they do have experience with handling this type of category. And here's some other interesting information as well. So I did find this release from 2024, and Gordon Brothers, which was one of the two bidders, they actually lent JOANN $100 million. So it looks like JOANN probably still owes them the money. So I'm kind of not sure. It's interesting that they were one of JOANN's creditors, but they were also trying to purchase the business. They did not win the auction, but I wonder what's going to happen with this loan, if they're going to get some or most of their money back. Oh, and by the way, links to a lot of what I'm talking about, I will put them in the description box for you to check out for yourself as a resource. So yeah, they provided JOANN's $100 million during the first bankruptcy proceedings. And I also learned that Bank of America I'm not sure, I was trying to figure out what specific companies were involved with this new LLC that purchased JOANN's. And I wasn't able to, other than the Great American Group, I wasn't able to find the specific term lenders. But Bank of America is probably one of JOANN's bigger term lenders because they were like they handled the refinancing of JOANN's, getting a $675 million loan back in 2021. So it looks like, so the Bank of America was the administrative agent, collateral agent, and lender for the facility. So this was only, 4 years ago. So I'm going to guess JOANN's probably still owes Bank of America quite a bit of money from this loan. So I'm wondering if Bank of America, don't quote me on this, but I'm wondering if Bank of America has anything to do with this new GA JOANN Retail Partnership LLC that won the winning bid. So that's the latest on the auction. 2 long days. So the next up is this sale hearing on Wednesday. Thank God it's not at 9 a.m. I'm not a morning person, so I had to get up at like 8:30, and it was rough. I'm crashing out. I'm not going to lie. I'm crashing out. It's not good. It's not going well. So 2 p.m. on Wednesday is the sale hearing, and then March 6th, there's something called an omnibus hearing, so I'll try to check in on that. So really the next we'll hear about the auction or like anything going on with JOANN is Wednesday, February 26th. But unfortunately, yes, it does appear that Great American Group does not plan to keep the remaining 300 JOANN stores open. I know I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's kind of a shock. And it happened so, not that it happened so quickly, but I almost am in disbelief that this is the outcome. I really am. And, I've been shopping at JOANN since I was a child. And, I'm over 40 years old, so I've been a lifelong JOANN's customer. We had one in my hometown, and it's just the store. It's like the fabric and craft store that most of us grew up with, we know, we love. And the last few years obviously haven't gone very well for the chain, and now we're at this point. So it is very sad, and, so I guess we've got until May. So they did say they're planning to keep most of the stores open until May. So at least now we have more of a timeline. So that is my update on the JOANN's 2-day bankruptcy hearing. By the way, this is an independent channel. It is powered by my Etsy shop, where you can find fabric and sewing supplies. So yes, if you are looking for a place to purchase fabric and supplies, I've got some quilting stuff. Depending on how things go, I may expand the offerings a little bit, but you can find me at sewingreport.etsy.com. You'll also find a link in the comments and in the description box. I've got fabric by the yard. I've got cool sewing labels, lots of fun stuff, marking pens, Sew Tights, product I love. And I also have another channel called Just Sewing Report, where I do more straight up sewing, quilting, and crafts videos. So again, this is more of like a what's going on in the industry kind of channel. And then my main channel, Sewing Report, is where I do just, straight sewing and crafts, embroidery, that kind of stuff. So again, this is my Etsy shop. A few of you did place orders. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. This is a totally solo operation, so I am not a big corporation, but I'm also, my overhead's low enough, and thankfully things are going okay. But yes, I did get a few orders, and I really appreciate everyone that is shopping with me. So let me know what you think down below in the comments. I know this is a lot. This is a lot to hear. So it is a pretty big day historically for us crafters. Pretty crazy, and I was not expecting to have to report this tonight, because I honestly expected this to, I was like, okay, they're probably going to go for another day or two. I'm like, are we going to do this on Sunday? I have no idea. So, and by the way, if you do leave a comment, I do have some community guidelines that you have to follow. So please make sure to read them if you're new here. if you do not follow the rules, your comment will be removed. So please just keep that in mind, because I've gotten a few unhinged people here, and it's gotten a little crazy, especially when you get any video where, you get a lot of like newcomers. Some people are just not really all there. So, but please, you do have to follow the community guidelines, because I'm not going to let my comment section turn into a dumpster fire. So thank you in advance, and I hope everyone is trying to have a good weekend. Do what you can. I've treated myself to a 4th cup of coffee. And by the way, thank you for the kind comments. When I shot the last video, it was like 11:30, and the idea of putting on makeup after 11:30, I was like, I just can't do it. So thank you for understanding, and I will see you again in the next video. Probably there'll be an update on the sale hearing on Wednesday. I also kind of want to do a few other videos. There's some other stuff going on, so I greatly appreciate everyone that's coming here and watching. If you like getting updates on what's happening in our little sphere, subscribe to Sewing Report Live, hit the notification bell, and yes, and come back, because I basically try to share whatever is going on. And there's a little bit of commentary. This is a chatty channel, so if that's not for you, that's totally cool. But that's what we do here. So I hope everyone's having a good night, and I will see you all again soon.